Hey there, YouTube audience. I'm kind of new to this, so I feel really awkward talking to a camera. But you might have clicked on this from my blog on the track, to which I announced that I am hiking the PCT or attempting to Novo the PCT in this 2025 year. We'll be starting in March. I'm pretty excited and also terrified. As you can see, I'm also posting this in March, so, well, pretty close to what I'm going to be going through and getting on the trail. I thought I'd go through and try to document a few of my thoughts, my thought processes, gear list, kind of like, I don't know, a million people go and do out there everywhere. Throw it out there just for others and help out the best I can, I suppose. So I thought I'd go through, just do a quick gear list, start talking about it, and get into it. So yeah, first things first, big three, that's kind of where, I guess everyone goes through and kind of describes it. I ended up going through and getting a new tent this year. Prior, I have gone through and pretty much utilized an MLB solo mid for years now, but the concept of going on a long distance trail where one of my trekking poles could break, and the concept of going through and having kind of like, don't even remember exactly, a full 10 ounces of decreased pack weight, ended up going through and letting me decide to splurge on the Z-Pack Plex Solo Light tent. I haven't gone through and had a ton of experience with it because it's been winter here in Alaska. So it's gonna go through and be a new one for me. I'm pretty excited. Just about anything, I'm excited that it's a little bit easier of a pitch than I would say the MLD was, and that it's going to go through and have a little bit more redundancy in case I decide to just go through and crack one of my carbon poles at some point, which they love to do. They really do love to do. That's just a fact. And it would be really sad if I didn't have a tent when that happened. With that tent, I have Thermarest, standard, 3-season. It's Neo Air X-Lite. I got this years ago, back when I had a discount from a retailer I was employed with for a little while, and it's treated me well, done great. We'll be carrying a repair kit with it as well, and I didn't see any reason to go through an upgrade. I'm sure it's going to be by the end of this on its last leg, and I'll need to replace it for future hikes, but that's okay. That's just what it is. With all that, prior years, I've gone through and actually utilized a Sierra Designs old backpacking quill. That's like my primary that I had used. It's like a great 32-degree quill, but with the PCT, given that I'm starting in March and I'm going to have a little bit colder conditions, I wanted to get something that was both lighter as well as a little bit of a better cold protection. So ended up going through, as you can see, light and equipment. Got the Revelation 950 fill on that. Ended up going for the insanely bright orange, so, they'll find my body, I guess. But very high level, kind of just what I was going through and looking to get, just temperature, but better temperature and better weight reduction. Along with all that, I have almost always utilized one of those REI flash packs that I got back in college, and it just still has not died. It's honestly been pretty good, but I decided to go through and get something a little bit lighter. That was like in the low 30 ounces range, and I'm going to be walking a lot and with weight and more weight than normal. So I ended up going with the Palante Desert pack. I really liked the weight savings at like 19 ounces. I liked that it's 43 liters, so I can still fit everything that I'm looking to put in there. And I enjoy the top little closure that allows the bear cans in the Sierra to go through and get satcheled or, you know, slacked straight on there. So beyond the, you know, big three, or I guess the big four that I did just go through and talk about, I go through and be obviously wearing clothes. So what am I wearing? I'll be going through, starting off in the desert. It's sunny. I live in Alaska. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to go through and talk about is some sun protection. A little bit of warm because it's going to be a little earlier season, and I will be, you know, going up into some of the higher elevation areas like San Jacinto and such. So first off, sunglasses, ombres. Went through, decided to pick myself up one of these mainly because, you know, I was looking for something that was going to go through and not fall off my head as I'm walking around, or something that's going to hold on a little better and won't potentially, you know, over time irritate the ears or, you know, the nose a little bit, because they're a little heavier. I've had other sunglasses that have done that and don't want to deal with that when I really am going to be wanting them for as much as I'm going to be wanting them. Next thing going around, if you read my Trek blog, hat, my Festivus hat. Really like it, really excited. I knew when I actually saw this was just like, I don't know, I feel like I was peacocking with this hat because it's just so loud and proud, and I was pretty excited about it, mostly just because it's super floral. I also love the floral flowers on it. Can't say anything more than just a cool design, cool hat. My wife hates it and is probably going to be happy that she is dropping me off when I'm wearing it, so she doesn't have to see me wearing it. So there's that too, but I digress. Beyond that, I am going to go through and kind of be doing a lot of sun protection on the trail because I am pasty, white, and fragile. With that in mind, I've got like a Patagonia sun hoodie. I'm forgetting exactly what it's called. It's, if you just look up Patagonia sun hoodie, it's like the basic one with a hood around, long sleeve, and gives great breathability and some UPF. So I really enjoyed all of that. Ended up going with that. I got some sun gloves. Got these actually, surprisingly enough, when I moved here to Alaska and needed them for hiking when the sun was out for almost the entirety of the day, and was out with them without sunscreen and realized my hand needed some protection. But in any case, I'll be utilizing those very much. They're excellent, very, very nice, easy. They don't block you from doing anything since your fingers are still showing, but it just goes through and gives a little bit extra protection. With that, I'll also be going through and probably for the most part, unless I really feel like I'm going to be going and have issues with my legs getting burned, I'm going to be rocking the Palante shorts. Definitely like them in the fact that they are, well, I really like the color and how they feel in general. They're stretchy, so they allow for a lot of motion and movement in motion air, and love the fact that they got decent enough pockets, and just overall they're quite comfortable. A lot of, you know, I thought about going through and going with the standard running shorts, but I really didn't want to go through and have one with like an inner liner or something. I was looking for something that had more like better pockets and something that would, you know, have something that would hold into the pockets, and I think these really go through and meet that requirement from what I've tried with them so far. If I do feel like I need the extra protection, or I'm just cold, which could be, possibly, I also got those Patagonia, I think they're the Terrybone joggers. They're exceptionally comfortable. I was struggling to go through and find a source for them when I was trying to buy them this past few months. Found these on eBay, so I don't know if Patagonia still has the light gray, but I really did want to have something that was a lighter color. I will be almost completely gray if I'm wearing them with my shirt, but it is exceptionally nice to have something that's a lighter color when the sun is going to go through and be factor right. So going down, you know, if it's cold, a couple of liner gloves, outdoor research liner gloves. Nothing special, they're just the gridded fleece. I've taken them out a few times here in Alaska. We've had a pretty ridiculously warm winter for Anchorage, which has been sad, but with that in mind, they've functioned great. Pretty much been very, very happy with them in those, you know, above, you know, like 15 and above style degree days. With that in mind, with that as well, also going through, I have these really old, this is Luke's Ultralight. I don't think they're in business anymore. I got these forever ago, and I know there's been, I know online there's been continuous back and forth discussion on some of the challenges around that particular outfitter. I got my order, have liked them. You're not gonna be able to get them anymore, but they're just very, very light, waterproof gloves. They work great. I put my hands right in them with my, was it if I'm cold or if I just need to keep them from getting wet. It works great for that, and they're very lightweight, so great stuff from that. When they die, I'll be sad. I'll probably have to go through and find something to replace them with, but you know, you can do that. As well, gonna go through Buff. Literally had this for forever. It's a merino wool buff from Buff. Had it. I have had this buff since I was in college, and that was many moons ago. It's worked great. I love it to go through and just either A, protect my skin from the sun, B, go through and warm me up. It pretty much does absolutely everything. For a while there, I was using it as like a beanie hat as well. It's a jack of all trades, wonderful piece of gear. Going into some of these, you know, additional cold weather gear, got Montbell puppy pants. No, I'm not going to be going through and hiking in these, very likely. More or less, the concept behind them is that I'm going to be stopping, I'm going to be at camp, I'm going to get cold because I'm not exerting myself. Keep them on to get warm there and stay warm there. You know, that style, really. I've got, to go with it, my old Sierra Designs dry down hoodie. It's works great. I've loved it for everything. It can go through and actually squeeze down into the pocket where it zips up into a small little satchel. I really enjoy that. I don't store it like that for long because the down would die, of course, but it's been great, really, really good for those, you know, 3-season style conditions, and looking forward to going through and continuing to use it. Don't have too much more to say about it, to be honest. It's been great to me. And then this one is a new one. As you can see, you might be seeing a theme with my some of my color choices and some of the things between my gear. I got the Samba Alpha Direct. You know, it's a 120 Alpha Direct hoodie. I have loved this. I have worn it a few times around the area in the past month since I've got it. It is stupid warm for how lightweight this is, and the fact that it looks like it's just full of holes. It's extremely comfortable. I'm sure it will self-destruct by the time I'm done with my hike in it, but I really enjoy it. I think it's awesome. It's at least half of the weight of my comparable R1 hoodie from Patagonia, which, I mean, obviously because it has a zipper, but still, it's fantastic. Looking forward to using it, and I guess I can make the joke again, you will be able to find my body because I am a ray of sunshine. Rain gear, obviously desert, a lot of the places, not as much rain. It's the BCT, I'm not gonna be going, you know, isn't the AT. I decided because, you know, I feel like in a lot of ways rain gear is a bit expendable on these hikes, and it's not a cheap item, that I wanted to just get something that would meet the requirements, be lightweight, and be cheap and easily replaceable. With that in mind, I'm one more person on the Frog Togs. Went through, got the ultralight ones. I mean, it's obvious it's cheap. It's extremely thin, but it works. And it will work for the amount of time that I need it in the desert. If later on, like in Oregon, Washington, I end up finding that I need to get something a little bit more substantial, I've got several other shell layers that I have here that I'll have my wife ship me. I'm looking forward to giving these a try. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm mostly excited about the fact of how lightweight they are and the fact that I got them for $15, which at first I thought was crazy, but you know, after feeling them, I can see how they were able to, because it's essentially a tarp that they kind of sewed together. Final thing I got is really just a little fleece beanie. Old one I've had for forever from Arc'teryx. Got this for free actually from the former retailer I worked for, and really it's worked great. I really just like it. Just covers the ears, everything like that, or you know, slicks down the greasy hair of the time. Well, we'll find out, but either way, another hat. And that is pretty much it for the clothes. I will be going through and getting 2 wind layers from Enlightened Equipment, the 2 copper spur pants and the jacket. They're currently in the mail, getting shipped to my house, waiting for them to get here, and I'll go through and speak a little bit more to them when I've used them a bit more, but that pretty much closes out the All right, so on to like my kitchen and water. Keep it pretty simple for most stuff. Got titanium spoon. Ended up going through getting a Vargo Bot XL. Liked the design that I could go through and store water, cold soak, have all those opportunities with it. And I like it to the XL just because it was a little bit wider base, more stable. It's a little bit bigger and heavier than probably some of the like Toques ones that you could go through and get. But my wife will be joining me occasionally on this trail, and it will be useful to go through and be able to just have us share a single pot. So that's at least the plan for those. For my food bag, I ended up going through and getting a Hilltop Packs food bag. Kind of love it. My wife said that this was her favorite of the designs on it, but 13 liters, hold all my food. Hopefully I'm not carrying 13 liters of food all the time. That sounds heavy. Got a BV 500. It is heavy. I'm not looking forward to carrying it, but I will do so to make sure that us humans in the bears world continue to behave and that the bears are continue to be happy bears and not dead bears. For my stove, have a pretty simple pocket rocket 2. Works pretty nice. I've had the pocket rocket 1 for forever and was awesome. New to me, flip fuel canister. I've heard a lot of people on these long hikes can kind of siphon off fuel from some half-used containers and, you know, help yourself save a little bit of weight. So decided, you know what, I'll give this a try, give it a shot when I'm taking my zero, see if I can't go through and combine things together and not have to carry 2 canisters, would be great. For my water system, pretty simple. Sawyer squeeze. It's no-brainer, works great, does everything perfect. I have the coupling to go through and make sure that my smart water bottles, which will be my primary reservoir, will be able to go through and put clean water, reverse, backflow it, clean it, do everything there. I'm planning on going through and utilizing my Cena. Got a 2-liter one in orange, and this is going to be my dirty water reservoir. Go through and then, you know, unscrew it, screw onto the Sawyer, filter the water, squeeze it through, put it into my smart water bottles. Additionally, obviously, the added benefit is some additional water storage that I have as dirty water storage, but it allows me to go through and maintain up to 7 liters of water storage if necessary. Not that I ever want to go through and actually have to go through and carry that much. Only other thing I got for the water is I did go through and make sure to get 2 spare gaskets. And that's the gaskets for the Sawyer, mainly because I want to make sure that, you know, if they blow out, if something goes wrong, I just got an ability to field repair them at least for a little while. You know, 2 of them are going to go through and last me for quite some time. And going on to hygiene, I think is probably the next best thing. Kind of a simple hygiene kit, relatively speaking. You know, I'm kind of going to be bracing the snake a little bit, but gonna try to keep myself clean at least, and you know, not getting sick. A couple of things. Got these little droppers, Dr. Bronner's peppermint. Been using this stuff for years. It is a natural wonder. I actually am a crazy person and use it for cleaning, you know, dishes, cleaning my body, cleaning my mouth. I heard Skirka talking about utilizing it as his toothpaste in the past, and I gave it a shot years ago. And I haven't actually gone back, and I haven't purchased toothpaste in 7 years, probably. It's honestly great. Have no problem with it. It works fantastically. And my dentist says I have good teeth, so something must be working. Either way, we'll be going through and utilizing that. I will be going through and additionally carrying just a little scrubby glove. If you're familiar, very, very basic. It's a little like rubber. It can be utilized for cleaning myself, little, you know, kind of washcloth showers if I really need it. Probably not doing many of those, but that, and also if I do get something burnt on my pot, just having that as a possibility as well. I know it's a little bit gross to use it as both, but what do you say? We got to go through and keep things lightweight or so. And closing it out. All right, and then closing it out, I have deuce of spades, trowel. Got to go through and keep everything clean. Make sure to fellow leave no trace. That is absolutely essential. And I'm going to be trying something new out. I actually got one of those tiny little caps that are the Sawyer water bottle backcountry bidets. Gonna give this a shot, see if I can't reduce my amount of toilet paper and make it a little bit easier for when I'm on trail. I will go through and be carrying, you know, emergency wet wipes and TP just in case, but the least I can use of those, the better. Definitely gonna go through and try that and give this one a shot. If it goes awry, I will report back. All right, on the electronics front, not a ton of things, at least I don't think I'm carrying a ton. I don't plan on going through and bringing a full film setup. I've been debating upon bringing a little tripod, but I haven't quite got there yet. I'll go through and update my list if that does change, but for now, planning on just filming iPhone 14 Pro. Didn't go through and do any changes there, just very, very basic. I'm gonna be bringing along my off-brand, no-name brand, 20,000 milliamp hour battery. Got this years and years ago. It's never failed me. It's awesome. I think the thing I enjoy about it most is that it does have 2 USB-A and a USB-C out. So I do have the ability to go through and charge 3 things at once, and I will be utilizing that. Every night I plan to go through and then utilize that to charge up my Apple Watch Ultra. Got that to track my hike, and I know it's not necessarily the best from battery life perspective, but decided that I wanted to do that just to stay in the ecosystem. You can call me a shill, best you can, and that's probably fair, but it just wasn't justified to me to go through and get you know, an everyday watch and then a separate Garmin watch for through hiking. It just didn't want to go through and have 2 different things, so one size fits all kind of worked for me. So I know I'm going to have to charge it every night, and that's fine. 20,000 milliamp hours should be perfectly fine to charge up my phone, that, and if I need to top off my Garmin InReach, another electronic, probably touch more on that on the safety side, and any of my other items. Beyond that, got a couple of things, a couple of charge cords, you know, the basic ones, the, you know, USB-A to Lightning and those. I'm bringing 2-meter connectors just because I'll take the extra weight when I'm in town and then have the ability to go through and more easily, you know, play on my phone while I'm charging it or doing such. It's just a little bit nicer. I've always found the 2-meter length to be better. I will also go through and be bringing something that's a little bit different from the electronics perspective. USB-C rechargeable AAA batteries. So these are just have little USB-C ports on them, and you can charge them up. I am utilizing them for my rechargeable battery setup on my headlamp. These ones are from a company called Pale Blue. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of them or seen them. I like these better than the rechargeable batteries that, say, like Black Diamond was offering, because these just allowed the greater flexibility of quick replacement. So I'm going to be carrying a set of 6 of these. 3 of them will live inside my headlamp. 3 of them will be fully charged in my pack. If my batteries happen to die, I will replace them, and then I will then utilize this charging cord, which has 1 USB-A and 4 USB-C outs to charge them up for my battery bank, and keep on going, keep on trucking. I think that works out pretty well. I really liked that setup. And the other thing that I really enjoyed and what really drove me down the Pale Blue side is actually carry more power. It'll make the headlamp last longer than the ones that are like offered by Black Diamond or like Nightcore or some of the other brands that are out there with those. So enjoy that. I definitely enjoy that I didn't have to buy a new headlamp as well, but I digress on that side. And I think the final thing bringing is Anchor charging brick. Pretty much vital. I was looking for something that was small footprint and relatively high power output. So this one I like, and the reason I really went with it was the 3-port output. I can go through when I get to town, charge up my phone, charge up my watch, charge up my battery, all at the same time, and I like that. All right, on to safety. Obviously along the trail there's going to be different areas and different things you'll need from a gear perspective for safety. One thing that I alluded to prior, or one thing I'm going to be bringing, is my InReach Mini 2. Carry this all the time here in Alaska. It's great to track hikes. It's great battery life. The SOS feature is great. Messaging is great. I am going to be going through and getting the unlimited messaging subscription, mainly because my wife wants to hear from me a little bit more often. And I will also be going through and carrying the SAR, Search and Rescue insurance, just to make sure if I do press that button and I get a bill, I'm going to be covered. In terms of other gear from that safety perspective, micro spikes, I'm not going to be carrying these to start off with. I am likely to go through and get them shipped off to like Idlewild right before heading up into some of the peaks around LA. And I will be choosing whether or not to carry these or the Katula K10 crampons. They're those trail crampons for my trek through the Sierra. I'll find out when I get closer to Kennedy Meadows South and figure out, depending upon the snow year. I know right now it's looking more average. I'll be going in a little bit earlier. Got some experience in ice and snow here in Alaska in the backcountry near Anchorage, but Sierra's sometimes a little bit different beast with some, not fresh snow, but more weirdly slush sorts from what I hear. So I'll be making that decision when conditions are more immediately available known. And ice axe, got the Camp Corsa, got something that was light. I plan on going through and carrying this every pass that I do. If I'm on steep terrain, it will be in my hand. It will be one of the things that are in my hand, because I will be utilizing it to make sure that if I do fall, I can stop. Other thing is for glissading. Great ability to go through and allow myself the ability to actually stop. I have practiced with it in the backcountry here in Alaska. I have never had to use it in my life. So I've done some peak bagging here in Alaska, and I've never once had an actual fall. I'm very thankful for, but I also carry an axe with me at all times because it is important. All right, so time skip. But last couple of things I got, kind of some luxuries, miscellaneous items. One of the things, I've kind of already mentioned that I am pasty pale. The sun is a deadly laser. I'm gonna bring the Gossamer Gear umbrella. I got the gold because I like the color and I think it's pretty cool. I definitely got the umbrella attachment and tested it out with the Palante pack and worked out pretty well so far, at least here in Alaska. Can't really speak to the sun side of it, but I can speak to a few other things, at least that it's, you know, functional. That's what I can do. But excited to try it out. Definitely one of those things that I would call a luxury, not something that's absolutely necessary, and something that I wanted to go through and grab. Another thing I would probably go through and say is a more luxury of sorts is a wallet. I know a lot of people do these Ziploc bags. I saw this chicken tramper gear wallet online, and I thought, ooh, that's nice. I like having something that functions in that way, that I can just hold all my cards, my ID, and everything that's, you know, vital and important. Other things I didn't talk about, you know, I talked a little bit about the trekking poles, but nothing special. Alpine cork, black diamond trekking poles, you know, these ones are from years ago, and they have been fantastic. I wish Black Diamond you would go through and keep making them in this style, because I worry if I did end up going through and breaking them that I would be incredibly sad, because these older styles had you know, the lockers that stayed better, and honestly, you know, me and a few of my friends have all talked about the fact that the newer ones kind of seem to just break more often than these older ones. I think these ones are a little bit heavier, but utility is beneficial and reliability is beneficial with something like this, especially that I'm going to be putting quite a lot of miles on them. So last items I got, you know, classic Swiss Army style knife, you know, the knife, tweezers, all that type of stuff. I'll be going through and bringing that on the trail along with me, and then I will also be bringing a set of earplugs, mainly just to go through, allow me to, you know, if I'm camping in a place that's really loud, allows me just to go through and sleep, you know, hostels, anything like that. Kind of the concept is to just make sure that I can get a good night's rest and kind of have things be quiet if I need them to be quiet. But really, that's just about it. That's everything that I'm kind of bringing on the trail this year, at least as of right now. If something changes, you know, like I mentioned, I'll probably go through and make some updates on the trek, make some updates to my lighter pack. Both links are in the description of this video, but I'm looking forward to getting on the trail, and hopefully everything will go well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys.